Some journeys call to us from books and films, promising adventure and transformation. The Trans-Siberian Railway was that call for me, a ribbon of steel across snow-dusted forests and poetic cities. To travel for 7 days across 1/6 of the world felt both thrilling and daunting, a rare chance to slow down and watch the world unfold. I packed not just clothes, but wonder and anticipation, tracing the route from Moscow to Vladivostok, each stop a promise of discovery. This journey would be about more than destinations. It would be about the quiet moments, the shared smiles, and the rhythm of the train. I invite you to join me on this adventure, to share in the magic and wonder of the Iron Road. Moscow's grandeur was the perfect prologue, but my heart was set on the journey ahead. At Yaroslavsky station, the Rossiya train awaited, a blue and grey serpent ready to cross a continent. My compartment was small but full of possibility, my home for the week. As the train pulled away, Moscow faded, replaced by birch forests and the first glimpses of the Russian countryside. The rhythmic clatter of wheels became my new heartbeat. Families unpacked, transforming compartments into homes, and a quiet camaraderie settled in. As night fell, the warm light inside felt like sanctuary. The adventure had truly begun. The train rolled into Russia's ancient heartland, the Golden Ring, a region steeped in legend and history, where every mile seemed to whisper stories of czars, saints, and centuries-old traditions. The rhythmic clatter of the wheels on the tracks felt like a heartbeat, drawing me deeper into a landscape that has witnessed the rise and fall of empires. Here, Kremlins and golden domes dot the landscape, their silhouettes rising above sleepy villages and rolling fields. Each church and fortress seemed to glow in the soft morning light, their onion domes reflecting centuries of faith and resilience. The air was thick with the scent of dew and distant wood smoke, and the villages felt untouched by time. Through the window, I glimpsed timeless village life. Wooden isbas with their ornately carved window frames, smoke curling lazily from chimneys, and endless birch forests stretching to the horizon. Children played in dusty lanes, and elders tended gardens, their lives unfolding at a pace set by the seasons rather than the clock. Crossing the mighty Volga, I felt the scale of Russia, its rivers, the arteries of a vast land, binding together distant cities and remote villages. The Volga's broad waters shimmered beneath the train, a living thread connecting past and present, east and west. It was easy to imagine ancient traders and poets traveling these same routes, inspired by the river's grandeur. At stops like Vladimir and Nizhny Novgorod, babushkas in colorful scarves gathered on the platforms, their hands offering hot potatoes, piroshki, and steaming tea. Their faces were etched with kindness and stories, and their laughter mingled with the sounds of the bustling station. These brief encounters offered a taste of real Russia, warm, generous, and deeply rooted in tradition. The food was simple but hearty, each bite a reminder of home-cooked meals and the hospitality that defines Russian culture. Sharing a snack with fellow travelers, I felt a sense of belonging, as if the journey itself was a celebration of community and connection. The gentle rhythm of train life began, tea from the samovar steaming in glass cups, the ever-changing scenery outside, and the soft murmur of conversations in the compartment. The train became a world of its own, a moving home where strangers became companions and every window framed a new painting. There was a sense of stepping into a Russian novel, where every glance out the window revealed a scene worthy of Tolstoy or Chekhov. The slow pace encouraged reflection, and I found myself lost in thought, imagining the lives unfolding in the villages we passed. Each day brought new landscapes, meadows dotted with wildflowers, dense forests, and tranquil rivers. The scenery shifted with the light, from golden dawns to fiery sunsets, each moment a reminder of Russia's vastness and variety. Yet, amid the constant change, a comforting consistency remained. The steady rhythm of the train, the camaraderie of fellow travelers, and the quiet beauty of the countryside rolling by. This was a land of Tolstoy and Chekhov, where literature and landscape intertwined, revealing their secrets 1 kilometer at a time. Every mile felt like a page turned in a great Russian novel, full of quiet revelations and unexpected beauty. The journey had only just begun to unfold its secrets, promising more stories, more encounters, and more glimpses into the soul of Russia with every passing day. The approach to the Ural Mountains marked a symbolic crossing, Europe to Asia. For centuries, these ancient peaks have stood as the dividing line between two continents, a natural border that has shaped history, culture, and identity. As the train rumbled steadily forward, anticipation built among the passengers, each of us aware that we were about to leave one world behind and enter another. The landscape shifted, Hills grew, forests thickened, and a simple white obelisk flashed by, marking the continental divide. It was a fleeting moment, but one heavy with meaning. The forests outside seemed to stretch endlessly, their silence broken only by the rhythmic clatter of the train wheels. I found myself reflecting on the countless travelers before me who had crossed this very threshold, each with their own hopes and fears. In that instant, I entered Siberia, a place of quiet beauty, not just exile and hardship. The morning light revealed a landscape both vast and intimate, with mist rising from rivers and the scent of pine drifting through the open windows. Siberia's reputation often conjures images of isolation, but here I saw a gentler side, tranquil, resilient, and alive with subtle color. Yekaterinburg, our first Asian stop, offered a poignant glimpse into Russia's turbulent history at the Church on the Blood. This city, perched on the edge of two continents, has witnessed revolutions and tragedies, and its streets echo with stories of the past. Standing before the church, I felt the weight of history and the resilience of those who had lived through it. Even brief explorations deepened my understanding of this complex nation. Every encounter, every street corner seemed to reveal another layer of Russia's identity, a blend of old and new, sorrow and hope. The people I met, whether locals or fellow travelers, each had their own perspective, adding richness to my journey. Back on the train, strangers became companions, sharing meals and stories despite language barriers. The gentle sway of the carriage and the shared experience of travel created a sense of camaraderie. We laughed over simple meals, exchanged stories about our homes, and found common ground in our curiosity about the world beyond the window. My Russian compartment mate taught me tree names and shared homemade jam, a kindness that bridged worlds. With each word and gesture, we built a fragile but genuine connection, reminding me that travel is as much about people as it is about places. The taste of that homemade jam lingered, sweet and unexpected, long after the moment had passed. The excitement of departure faded into a comfortable routine. Days on the train took on a gentle rhythm, reading, watching the scenery slip by, sharing quiet conversations. The vastness outside became familiar, and the train itself felt like a moving home, carrying us deeper into the heart of Asia. We were now truly in the wild heart of Asia, surrounded by untamed forests and endless horizons. The journey had only just begun, but already the boundaries between continents, cultures, and people felt less like barriers, and more like invitations to discover, connect, and understand. Beyond the Urals, the Siberian taiga stretched endlessly, an ocean of green, ever-changing in light and mood. The vastness was humbling, the forest a constant companion for days. Small settlements appeared like brave outposts, their lights a testament to human resilience. Cities like Novosibirsk and Krasnoyarsk rose from the forest, bustling and unexpected. Stops in these cities revealed Siberia's diversity, urban energy amid wild nature. Life on the train settled into a soothing rhythm, reading, journaling, and quiet reflection. Our carriage became a small, warm community united by the journey. It was a passage through Russia's landscape and into myself. Lake Baikal, ancient, deep, and dazzling, was a dream come true. As the train hugged its southern shore, passengers crowded the windows, awed by the blue expanse and forested mountains. The water sparkled, impossibly clear, and the landscape felt sacred. In Irkutsk, the Paris of Siberia, I ventured to Lisvyanka village, walked the pebbled shore, and tasted smoked omul, a true flavor of the lake. The cold, pure water was invigorating, the moment unforgettable. Returning to the train, I felt renewed, grateful for Baikal's magic. The journey was more than halfway, but the lake's beauty gave me fresh energy. Nature's wonders, not human hands, are the greatest treasures. Baikal's memory would stay with me forever. After days on the rails, the train became its own world. The provodnitsa, our attendant, kept order and comfort, her presence reassuring. Meals were shared in compartments, homemade sausages, rye bread, endless tea, breaking barriers and building community. Routines formed, waking to the train's gentle rocking, watching landscapes change, stepping out at stations for fresh air and local color. Each platform had its own character, each stop a brief adventure. Evenings brought calm, golden light and quiet conversation. The rhythmic wheels lulled us into peace. Life was simple, focused on the journey, the people, and the ever-changing view. East of Baikal, the Republic of Buryatia revealed a new Russia. Buddhist temples, Asian faces, and a vibrant layered culture. Ulan-Ude's giant Lenin head stood as a surreal symbol amid colorful Datsans and Mongolian-influenced traditions. Visiting the Ivolginsky Datsan, I witnessed deep faith and ancient rituals, a world apart from Moscow's bustle. Russia is a mosaic of peoples and beliefs, not a single story. As the train pressed on, the landscape grew mountainous, the journey's end approaching. Among passengers, a sense of accomplishment and bittersweet farewell grew. We exchanged contacts, no longer strangers, but fellow travelers bound by a shared adventure. The bonds formed on the rails felt genuine and lasting. After 7 days and over 9,000 kilometers, the Pacific Ocean finally appeared, a vast grey-blue promise shimmering at the journey's end. The endless expanse of water seemed to stretch into forever, its waves whispering of distant lands and new beginnings. As the train curved along the coastline, the salty air drifted in through the open window, mingling with the excitement and relief that filled the carriage. For many, this was not just the end of a railway line, but the culmination of a dream, a test of endurance, and a celebration of discovery. Vladivostok's historic station marked the finish line, its ornate facade standing as a silent witness to countless arrivals and departures. The rhythmic wheels that had carried us across continents finally fell silent, replaced by the hum of the city and the distant call of seagulls. Stepping onto the platform, I felt a sense of accomplishment and awe, knowing I had reached the very edge of Russia, where land meets sea. The city itself, perched on steep hills above the sparkling bay, felt like a new world, Russia's edge, gazing out toward Asia and the Pacific. Its streets were alive with energy, a blend of Russian tradition and Far Eastern influence. Here, cultures mingled, and every corner hinted at stories waiting to be discovered. Standing by the marker post that read 9,288 kilometers from Moscow, I paused to reflect on the epic crossing. Each kilometer had been a chapter in a larger story, one filled with fleeting friendships, shared laughter, and quiet moments of wonder. The people I met along the way, each with their own tales and dreams, had become an indelible part of my journey. This was more than a trip. It was a journey through the heart of Russia, across vast forests, rolling steppes, and snow-capped mountains. Every landscape told its own story, and every station brought new faces and fresh perspectives. The train became a moving community, a place where strangers became companions, and every shared meal was a celebration of connection. What lingered most were the small acts of kindness, a shared cup of tea, a helping hand with heavy luggage, a smile exchanged across language barriers. These moments, simple yet profound, reminded me that the journey was as much about people as it was about places. Travel, at its best, reminds us of our shared humanity and the wonders still waiting to be explored. It teaches us to look beyond borders and differences, to find common ground in stories and dreams. I hope this story sparks your own spirit of adventure, because the world's greatest journeys are meant to be shared, and there is always another horizon waiting just beyond the tracks.